Imagine sailing on the largest, most luxurious ship ever built, a vessel so grand it was believed to be unsinkable. But on a cold April night in 1912, that illusion shattered in the icy waters of the Atlantic. What really happened to the Titanic? Today we unravel the mystery and dive deep into the untold secrets of the Titanic disaster. Stay tuned. Our story begins not at sea, but in the bustling shipyards of Belfast, Northern Ireland, where the Titanic took shape. It was the early 20th century, an era of technological marvels, and the Titanic was meant to symbolize progress and human triumph over nature. Measuring 882 feet long and weighing over 46,000 tons, the Titanic was not only the largest ship ever built, but also the most luxurious. First-class passengers enjoyed grand dining halls, elegant suites, and even a swimming pool, luxuries unheard of at the time. But it wasn't just her beauty that made the Titanic legendary. The ship was engineered with 16 watertight compartments, designed to prevent flooding in case of a collision. This led to the infamous claim that the Titanic was practically unsinkable. Unfortunately, as we now know, this would prove to be a tragic overstatement. On April 10, 1912, the Titanic set off from Southampton, England, on her maiden voyage to New York City. On board were 2,224 people from all walks of life, from wealthy businessmen like John Jacob Astor Forth to immigrants in steerage, hoping for a new life in America. For the first 4 days, the voyage was smooth. Passengers in first class dined in style, while those in third class experienced the relative comfort of their quarters. But beneath the surface, danger loomed. The Titanic had received several warnings of icebergs from nearby ships, but these were not fully heeded. Despite this, the ship continued to steam ahead at near full speed, unaware that disaster was just hours away. The night of April 14, 1912 was calm but freezing. At 11:40 p.m., as the Titanic sailed through the cold waters of the North Atlantic, a lookout in the crow's nest spotted a massive iceberg directly ahead. The warning, "Iceberg, right ahead," was called, but it was too late. Despite the crew's efforts to steer away, the Titanic's starboard side scraped against the iceberg, tearing a series of gashes below the waterline. At first, the damage didn't seem catastrophic, but in reality, 6 of the ship's watertight compartments were breached, 2 more than the ship was designed to withstand. The damage may have seemed minor, but it was enough to seal the Titanic's fate. The ship was designed to stay afloat with 4 compartments flooded, but with 6, there was no hope. As water poured into the lower compartments, the crew and passengers slowly realized the gravity of the situation. The Titanic, the so-called unsinkable ship, was sinking. What made the situation even worse was that there weren't enough lifeboats for everyone on board. The Titanic had lifeboats for just over 1,000 people, barely half of the total number. And in the chaos that followed, many lifeboats were launched with empty seats. First-class passengers were given priority access to the lifeboats, while many in third class were left behind. Panic spread as people scrambled to save their lives. Molly Brown, a first-class passenger who later became known as the Unsinkable Molly Brown, recalled the horror of the sinking. "I was in the last boat to leave. I saw the lights on the Titanic flicker and go out as she sank beneath the waves." Meanwhile, 17-year-old Jack Thayer was thrown into the freezing waters as the ship went down. He later wrote, "The cold was terrific. The shock of the water took the breath out of my lungs. I clung to a piece of wreckage and watched as the Titanic vanished." At 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912, the Titanic disappeared beneath the surface of the Atlantic Ocean. The rescue ship, the Carpathia, arrived hours later, responding to the Titanic's distress signals. But for many, help came too late. Out of the 2,224 people on board, only 710 survived. Many of those lost were trapped inside the sinking ship or perished in the freezing waters. Captain Arthur Rostron of the Carpathia, who led the rescue, later reflected, "I can only conclude that another vessel striking the same iceberg would have met the same fate." In the aftermath of the tragedy, the world was in shock. Inquiries were held in both the United States and the United Kingdom, leading to new safety regulations. Ships were now required to carry enough lifeboats for everyone on board, and an international ice patrol was set up to monitor dangerous waters. The Titanic remains one of the most famous maritime disasters in history. Her wreck was discovered in 1985, lying 2 miles below the surface of the ocean, frozen in time. The discovery answered many questions, but also raised new ones about the final moments of the ship and her passengers. More than a century later, the Titanic's story continues to captivate the world. Through movies, books, and documentaries, the Titanic has become a symbol of human ambition, hubris, and the tragic consequences of overconfidence. The Titanic was a ship built to defy the odds, but in the end, nature proved to be the ultimate force. Her story remains a reminder of both the incredible advances of human engineering and the ever-present power of the natural world. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more content on history's greatest mysteries. Thank you for watching.